Greetings, Patrick here. Oh, man, it is blazing hot for the fourth day in a row. We got 90 plus degree temperatures. Supposed to get rain today, but I don't see that happening. So I am just doing some work, getting ready for next week. Eric, that's right. Eric is here, and he knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the heat wave because he's got it worse than I do. Oh, okay. So they're thundering and raining here in Illinois. So it looks like the storms hit your area and not ours, unless they're coming our way. I mean, it could be. But right now, it looks like a perfectly blue sky. And let's see. Hey, Tony. Yep, they've been losing. Uh, let's see. And yeah, we're still there. Okay, so Chabot Khan is going to be in Times Square. Make it happen, Tony. Make it happen. Hell, if Taylor Swift can get married in Times Square or Madison Square Garden, you can have Chabot Khan. That's right. I am working on my review for Nightfire. Took me 195 movies before I landed one of these movies, erotic thrillers. It took me almost 200 movies to find one. That's pretty amazing, actually. I thought for sure by now, I don't know. I thought I would run across one sooner than later. Not that I was thinking about it too much, but I'm just thinking there was so many out there. And yeah, that came out. I rewatched that I re-listened to that last night, Eric. I re-listened to it after for my white noise. Man, we had a ball. That was a lot of fun, for sure. I really enjoyed that one. But I've enjoyed every single time we've done a retro tube with a host. It's actually been really outstanding. And you and I will be reuniting soon enough for The Human Target, which you have not seen. So I feel like I'm going to be able to repay you a little bit for your knowledge about Quantum Leap, and I'll be able to talk to you a little bit about The Human Target. And of course, it doesn't hurt that it has our boy in it, Jackie Earle Haley, playing Guerrero. So I have my reasons why I picked these things out. Hey, Dominic, how are you? All right. Glad you're here. Notice that I went on a little later in the day. I think the last time I went on, it was like at 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and nobody showed up. Yeah, I got Jackie there. Man, this last Tuesday at the library hall, I got 6 out of the 7 seasons of Adam 12. And I had already reviewed one episode, but I'm going to be doing another one soon, real soon, because I remember it. It was the only episode my dad, who was a former cop, it's the only time I ever saw my dad cry watching a TV show. And it was during an episode of Adam 12. And yeah. Oh, I know. We should do a Jackie marathon. We could do that. We could do that in August. Why can't we do that? I'm gonna end up. I hope that you'll join me, but I thought about it going like, man, I need to do a Shark Week. I'm gonna have to do a damn. I don't know how many shark movies I actually own though. I was actually thinking about it. I have Open Water, but I'm going to be doing Black Demon here in a minute. That's on my watch list. Um, I got another Killer Creature feature coming up too. It's going to take me a little while to get to these films because I have everything in a chain. Uh, yeah, I would love to do Watchmen. I got Watchmen. Um, I think I got a Freddy movie, but a couple of the Freddy movies. I think I got them. Believe it or not, you don't see a whole lot of these horror films coming through. Films that we took for granted, like you always see them in the thrift stores. It's not like that anymore. It truly is not. It's weird. Um, Even when people donate their films, it's films that you just think that you just don't even think, give a second thought about, they're no longer there. Um, so yeah, I do believe I have Jackie's Elm Street. That one I do have because I did watch it. And I gotta find this Bad New Bears. And of course, we cannot do a Jackie Earl Haley a marathon without doing Little Children. I refuse to do one without that because I think that's his best role after Rorschach. Rorschach was my favorite. He was just freaking amazing in that. That's why you go back and you really think about this. You go back and you watch Michael B. Jordan's performance in Sinners or Amy Madigan's performance in Weapons. Now go back a little bit more than that. I think about Jackie Earl Haley's performance in Watchmen, and you can understand why there are a lot of people like myself who just shake our heads and go like, if Jackie Earl Haley did not win for Watchmen, then why the hell are you passing out statues for that? I mean, honestly. Um, See, oh, he was also in Maniac Cop 3. That's right. He also did the remake of a RoboCop too, Dominic. That and you and I still need to get together for Nowhere to Run with Van Damme. Yep, that's still sitting on the shelf. We also get to talk about Lionheart because Lionheart is not only a badass movie, but it has probably the sexiest villain in Van Damme's repertoire. Uh, that girl, I mean, I could understand why someone went over to the dark side for her. I get that. And of course, Nowhere to Run featured Ted Levine, who played Buffalo Bill on Silence of the Lambs, and he plays the bad guy in Nowhere to Run. Yeah, he's a great actor because you know what? He's really good both as a bad guy and as a good guy. Uh, I was really bummed out in a sense that they didn't bring him back for Too Fast, Too Furious because he starred in the first Fast and the Furious. He was Paul Walker's FBI contact or police contact, and he was so good in that role. And I know they brought Bilkins back for Too Fast, Too Furious, but I was sort of hoping that they would have brought back Ted Levine. And of course, people never comment about this, but uh, 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 if you ever watch Yellowstone and you watch that with the character of Rip, that's played by young Mr. Hauser, who also was in Too Fast, Too Furious as the bad guy. Don't drop the soap, big homie. You know he's gonna kill you when he gets out. Yeah. All right, let's get some action going on here. Let's go. I gotta see how we're doing with we gotta boost up our girls here. For sure. I'm gonna boost up Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. Yeah. let me go look at that. All right. Mhm. This is where we're at. Yeah. All right. So here we are. Wow. She still hasn't hit 300 yet. So we still have some work to do. Let me drop this down in here. Because we got to promote that. There's Jen's reviews from the grave. Also the Mighty Mary Wilson. That's right. And here is Mary Wilson, of course, and dropping that in there. So we talk. Hopefully, some new people will come in to play. And if they come in and say hi, then I'll direct them to there. And you guys can go sub to their channels. So today we're working on, I'm putting together our next week's shows, starting Monday with Tremaine Hayhoe, then Derek Barash, and then okay, who else? I want to make sure I get these. I always want to make sure I get these names right. So next Monday is Tremaine Hayhoe. Of course, you remember him. We've had him on the show before. He did a watch party with us, and then we interviewed him about Simp, and we watched Simp on our watch party. And he's got a brand new film coming out, and he also has a film festival coming out as well at the end of the week. At the end of next week, his film festival starts. So I'm very excited about that because those are fun to watch. Uh, let's see, and what else is he? Derek is on the 7th, and then on the 8th, we have Tracy Beebe from a mortuary's assistant. Last night we were supposed to be talking with both Neil Chase and Jamie Hill. Unfortunately, there were some issues with Jamie. She had to take care of right away, but we will have her come back in August. Her and Steve Merlo, and hopefully maybe a surprise guest will come out and hang out with us. But we're going to do that in August. And then we already got our first guest booked in August. It's going to happen. It'll probably be Tatiana Neva, and that'll be a lot of fun too. Hopefully, I'll be able to put that to bed by the end of this week. So that'll be fun. So this week was a lot. This week we had a good show. We talked to Neil yesterday, and then we talked to Daniel Bowser on. We talked to him as well. Very, very cool dudes. Though we have to have Daniel come back because we did not get a chance to meet Potato, so we have to bring him back. And then of course we had Neil Chase, and we talked about their movies, about Brimstone Picture Films, including Contamination. That is could probably be hitting. It's probably hitting all the streaming platforms soon enough, and there is talk about possibly doing a physical release. If you go to the interview that I did with him, which features Boneyard Racers on the cover, if you go to Brimstone Pictures and you basically say, "Hey, how do I get Contamination on DVD?" or Blu-ray, that would be really helpful for them as well. And that's actually a legitimate question because we talked about this yesterday. Um, that Sony, we talked about this actually earlier than this. Uh, with Disney, did their massive layoffs, right? Disney did a couple of months ago. They did a massive layoffs, and and that included their physical media section. That just went away. And oh, there he is, John. I was just talking about you. Because you'll probably be our super secret guest. We're gonna set up an interview with Steve Merlo in August. So when that happens, I was gonna have you come on and co-host that show. And we'll have Steve Merlo, and then we'll also have Jamie Hill. And I was wondering if you would want to come over and hang out with us. Yeah, come on, man. You and I combining our forces together again. We haven't done that in forever. So yeah, I'd like to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. I was mentioning how I was talking about the Disney layoffs a couple of months ago, where they got rid of they lost over 1,000 people, including their physical media section. And I remember talking about this and saying that what I was watching is watching Disney, and you watch what everybody else does. And I guess we're starting to find out because Sony has made a lot of announcements in the last couple of weeks. Um, yeah, I got July booked. Jeez, I got tons of people coming in July, but August is still wide open. I'm going to start booking it here in a minute. Uh, yes, yeah, definitely. And yeah, we're supposed to talk with Jamie yesterday, but she was unable to make it. Steve popped in there, and we said that we should just go ahead and because I want to reschedule Jamie. And Steve said, I just did a film with her, so I said let's get you two together, and I thought it would be really good to get you up here as well. That would be a really lively show. So I think that would be a lot of fun. You, me, Steve, and Jamie. So I'd definitely love to do that. Yeah, I mentioned that too. I mentioned that like you're not quite ready for it yet, but I gave out a bit of a teaser saying that just wait till you come back for your podcast, because in your new place, and once you trick out the basement out there and you get it, you get your built in your studio, man, it's gonna be really, really cool. I can't wait for that, but I know it's gonna take a little bit of time, but when it does happen, it's gonna be pretty big, and yeah, can't wait, can't wait for you. Um, Sony decided that here's what Sony's done the last week. So what they're doing is they're gonna go ahead, they're gonna stop making physical copies of their gaming systems. Um, I know for sure PS3 it was affected. I'm sure it's gonna probably be, I'm sure two and one will probably be right behind it if they haven't already. So basically, it's just like anything else. It's like once those games go away, that'll be it. Um, so they've already said they're going to stop selling PS3 games, physical media games. They also, they encourage you guys to buy digital. We got the digital codes. A lot of people that they went ahead and bought that. They got rid of their own physical media, and they said, "We'll just go with the cloud. I don't have to worry about storage space or anything else like that." Well, Sony has lost the licenses for 551 movies. So they got rid of them. And that included anybody who bought it. So if you bought like 200 Sony digital films, um, it's just like what happened to Apple. The same thing happened to Apple when they got rid of their iPods, their first generation of iPods. and they got everybody to make up all these massive lists and what have you. And then when they lost the licenses, or they decided or they didn't want to support support an older platform, they just got rid of it. It just, I mean, for us, it was like I gave my, I made a playlist for Lori when she was undergoing her treatments, her cancer treatments, and she would listen to them while she was doing radiation and transfusions. Um, and then she came, she from radiation. She said came home and said nothing's working on the iPod. And so I went and looked, and sure enough, the iPod was fine, but Apple had they weren't supporting it, and it had hit a they said, well, we're only going to support it to this date. After that, it's all gone. So all these folks that had spent all those hours putting together playlists and whatnot, it was all gone. Sony's is worse because people paid for those movies, those digital movies. They paid for them, and they paid market price. Like, if you that's the thing about it. They paid as much there for digital as we do for physical. So 551 movies went away, and they're no longer there. So that tells you what um, it's funny is that despite all the media coverage talking about how physical media is making a comeback, it seems like the corporations are doing their very best to make sure that we don't get the power to own anything, whether it be housing, whether it be land, whether it be public resources, uh, parks and recreation. Uh, they're just slowly squeezing it out of us. We're just gonna be a nation of renters and not owners. And that's just hard fact. That's just hard fact. Um, so I know, bit of a bummer, isn't it? But again, I'd encourage you to go out there and keep doing the physical media, but do it smartly. Do physical media smartly. I know the Criterion sales going on today, this week or what have you, but even then, I would tell you to like try to hunt down better prices for if you can. Um, I told this story yesterday before our show with Neil. There was a guy in one of the physical media groups I was in, and um, he posted out a video Criterion movies. He got like 10 or 12 of them. Nice stack of movies, good selection, and he got them all for $1.50 a piece. That's just amazing. I've only had that happen to me once. I got 10 for like $10. I paid $1 a piece for them, but that's so freaking rare. But he paid $1.50 for them. Wow, that's cool. Good haul, good haul. Uh, but I mean, man, people, I don't know. And the thing I'll tell you one thing that really sort of sucks about the Criterion sale is they always do the Criterion sale, but if you go there and you start looking for, like the lowest movies possible, because there are some folks like myself who, I want to see, how low can you get? Fortunately, they have like 7 or 8 movies out there, like for $8 a piece during the sale. The problem is it's the same 8 movies every single sale. They never rotate. They never rotate anything new. Like a Nora should be $5. Seriously, I'm not being facetious. It should be $5. That should be, if you're gonna do a sale, it should not be on sale for $25 for $20. It should be on sale for 5. But they always sell the same, like I said, the same 8 or 10 movies for the lowest price possible. Which for a lot of us Criterion collectors, we've already done that. We've already went in there. We got all those movies already. Can you rotate some fresh ones? Because we're on budgets here. I mean, people think that 50% is affordable. All it does is just shows you that, wow, if Criterion could sell those movies for $20 during the sale, why can't they sell them like that for when they're on sale? Why can't they sell them for instead of $40? Why can't they sell them for 22? Um, or maybe not every release. Sure, I mean public demand. If you get a brand new movie come out and there's a demand for it, and you get $40 for it, I understand that. But I don't think every single movie that Criterion puts out is the end all. And like what somebody else said, it says, the only criterions that he ever sees are the Wes Anderson films. He's- that still makes me laugh because he's absolutely right. The only Criterion movies I've ever seen outside my bookstore for sale. The only time I've been to like 4 or 5 different thrift stores, and the only time I've ever seen Criterion's in thrift stores are the Wes Anderson movies. Absolutely, that's it. I've never seen anything else. So uh, that just made me laugh. All right. So we are working on doing some typing here for Dollar Theater. Dollar Theater, you guys know, is basically what I do. Um, which is why I was able to actually get. I was actually able to review my first Criterion on Dollar Theater. Uh, I had never done one before. In fact, I've only done one, but I'm gearing up to do another one, putting it on the list. Um, hey, Michael, how are you, sir? Yeah, I'm talking about doing the dollar right now. It's moving into dollar theater. Um, I don't know. Some of you folks here in the United States might remember this, but in the middle '90s, based on cable TV, they showed what they call a lot of them were called erotic thrillers in the '90s, and in fact, there was it was called Skinamax. The term was Skinamax. It was on Cinemax, but they showed a lot of actresses, a lot of man. It's hard to say that and sit there and say B actresses because to me, I, I, I wouldn't call them B actresses. I just wouldn't. Joan Severance or Shanna Worry or Tanya Roberts. There are a few others out there that did these movies. I think they did, Shannon Tweed, like I'm doing one with Shannon Tweed today. Um, they basically what they did was they get together these actresses and they would build these erotic thrillers, and more and often than not, it would feature a couple steaming sex scenes and well known names too. I mean, these weren't just no names; they were actresses, well known actresses. And it was called Skinamax, and there was a ton of movies came out in the mid '90s, and I don't know, maybe for like 6 or 7 years it was like that. I'm not sure because I didn't have cable TV, so a lot of these movies I never watched any of them. I never, and though I'll tell you the truth, back in the '90s, yeah, I would have watched anything that Joan Severance was in because Joan Severance back in the '90s was smoking hot. Um, she had the prettiest eyes, and she was a good actress too. And if you doubt that, I highly recommend you dig up a show called Wise Guy and watch her and Kevin Spacey in that series. Then come talk to me about her being not a good actress because her and Kevin Spacey they were on fire during their arc on Wise Guy. Unforgettable. Um, so they came out there and they did a series of these movies. They also did a couple of like anthology series. Red Shoes Diary, The Hitcher. Um, there's a couple of other ones. Like they were like a half-hour anthology series, and they would rotate these young actresses, up and comers. They would come in there. The same thing with the guys. They'd be up and coming, and then they would, they would do the story. There'd be like, though Red Shoes Diaries might surprise people because it did have some well-known names on that show. And the narrator on that show was none other than David Duchovny. He did Red Shoes Diaries. He was the narrator. So there was some pop to that show, and it was stylish. What they were, they weren't exploitive. It was stylish. A lot of jazz music, a lot of saxophone music. They would do their, soft core scene, and then at the end of the story, someone would fall in love or somebody not fall in love, and it was innocent. It was innocent. It was a little bit sassy for sure, but it wasn't exploitative at all. Um, so but as things, people public's opinions, change sooner than later. I don't know when it happened. I just know that after a while, the Skinamax period ended, and Cinemax went on to do other things. Stars did other things and whatnot. But the point of it was a lot of those movies were released on VHS, but I didn't know if I didn't think they ever got released on DVD because I had never seen any. I've never seen any of these movies on DVD at all. I mean, and the titles give them away. It's not like you said, "Well, how you were looking for it." No, you look and see Nightfire. Okay, what's that? As soon as you pull it out and you see Shannon Tweed's name over the titles, well, you know what you got. If you're an older gentleman or an older lady, you know what you got. Maybe some kids might not know what that means, but or some of the younger generation who maybe saw Shannon Tweed on reality TV. She did a reality TV show with her kids and Gene Simmons. Where that's where a lot of people were exposed to Shannon Tweed. They never saw her do any acting, but they saw her on Family Jewels. That's what the show was called. So so when I was at the library a few weeks ago, and people came in and donated, and I saw Nightfire. I saw that there, and I'm like, okay, that looks okay. What's that? Because I'd never heard of the title. And I pull it out, and there I see on the name, I see Shannon Tweed, and then I also see Martin Hewitt. I see his name on top, and so I was like, okay, that's interesting. Um, so I'm like, okay, this looks to be like one of those Skinamax films. So I picked it up for a quarter and I brought it home, and I remember, of course, Shannon Tweed. She was big. I mean, she was probably the number one star during that period. Anytime there was a new Shannon Tweed thriller up, people were all over it. Plus, she was doing more mainstream films as well. She played the Kruger figure, trying to seduce the lifeguard or the student or some stuff like that. I mean, um, you know, that's what she did back, during her movies. Um, so I got the movie, and then there's also Martin Hewitt. Now, Martin Hewitt, maybe many of you youngsters may not remember that name. A lot of youngsters probably won't they might not even know who Shannon Tweed is. But Martin Hewitt, he was a young star, and he did a movie called Endless Love with Brooke Shields. Um, and he was primed to become a big star, but it never really happened for him. It never really did. Um, and he had a couple of good movies in there, but yeah, it just didn't work out for him. But he was on this film, and this happened to be like the fourth, according to his IMDb. This is like the fourth from the last thing he did in his career. Um, yeah, that's it. And then I don't know if he retired or whatnot. Shannon Tweed retired. She's gonna be 70. Wow, I didn't even that blows my mind. She's going to be 70. Um, uh, um, but I was surprised to find the movie. I was like, okay, this is different because I've never seen one out on DVD, only on VHS tapes. So I went ahead and I got it, and I said, well, you know what, we should talk about that for Dollar Theater. So I went ahead and put it on the list, and yesterday it came up, and so me and the Cheetah went down there. We had some iced coffee, and because it's 90 degrees here, and we watched Nightfire. And okay, um, different. I'm gonna say you can watch my review. It's gonna come out in early August. Um, and yeah, it'll be it'll be very entertaining. It was different. So all right. I'm sure that was an exciting story. Everybody ran away. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Tangent review. We gotta get her to 300. All right. All right. So that's what we're working on right now. I cannot believe we have almost reached 200 of these Dollar Theater. Wow. That's just amazing to me. A regular Dollar Theater. And speaking of regular Dollar Theater, and so I guess that's the other thing I was going to mention about if anybody's here watching, which you're not. So I should probably save this for when somebody actually walks in. All right. Oh, Michael's still here. Oh, thank you. Says so cool. I have some old DVDs of that stuff. Really? You got movies from Cinemax? That's amazing. I had never spotted any of them. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. They're fluff. It's really what they are. They're just fluff. But that's what I remember. I mean, Gareth covers these movies, video tastings. He's covered a few of these movies. Um, I guess I mean, the movies I remember I watching back in that period of time, it wasn't the erotic thrillers like me. I was watching the Andy Sedaris movies. Those are the movies that I watched. I caught them on USA first, on USA Network. They used to show them on the weekends, edited, of course. Yeah, edited. Um, but then then I started, then I saw on cable there on cable uncut. So that's where I watched, got to know Andy Sedaris movies. But the rest of the thrillers that's Cinemax put out, I never watched them. I never saw them. I just knew I knew some of the actresses that were in them, some of them. And I do remember Red Shoes Diary because people were talking about that, as um, David Duchovny is like one of the things that he did before he blew up on X Files, and that's a harmless show too. It's just half hour little story. He get up there beginning of the show, talk for a minute, and at the end talk a little bit more, and then walk off into the sunset. It was all harmless. Zalman King's Red Shoes Diary. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about I think that the guy who created that, Zalman King, he ended up marrying one of the actresses that came in and did a guest star appearance on the show. I guess he happened to meet her, and they fell in love. Her name was Audie England. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what she looked like, but I know I remember the name and how he got married. He got married to her. But again, you don't really, hell, honestly, the last time I saw anything like that, um, Dollar Tree was selling copies of The Hitcher for $1. It was volume one and then volume two. And was really interesting about that show was that was more of a suspense show, more like Tales of the Crypt, more Twilight Zone type of stuff. They did they were trying to be a little bit sassy for like the first three episodes, and then someone came in there and said, I want to make it more straight, more like horror or science fiction. So they got rid of the nudity after the third episode, and then they became just strictly, and there's a lot of big names on the Hitcher. If you go watch the Hitcher series, there's a lot of well-known names on there, very well-known names that did that show. Um, yeah, I think I got one of the volumes from Dollar Tree, but I haven't watched it yet. Which actually would make a really good might be really something to do for RetroTube. Since it is a TV show, I could do it for RetroTube. Okay. Ah, let's let's see. Let's see. See, the one movie I have, you can actually see the people running a giant fan for the special effects off to the left. Yeah, they weren't really. I mean, and for Knife Fire, um, they didn't have the best lighting either. Well, surprisingly, because they shot in such a beautiful house, but the lighting was really bad, and the sound wasn't very good either. I had to crank it up a little bit so I could understand what was saying and who was saying what. Uh, yeah, I've heard of those bumps and bruises about that. Mike Boothby coming into the shots and stuff like that. People used to watch that stuff just to see if they could spot the bloopers. Hey, for a lot of people, that was probably like their first experience. Like they're just starting to get, there's it wasn't like Steven Spielberg, or Martin Scorsese was bending over backwards trying to direct these things. You know, a lot of these shows and cable TV shows and movies, they were done just like a lot of the first timers did today. They're just cutting their teeth. How many what movies do you have, Michael? How many of them did you find, and where did you get them at? Did you find them when you were out there thrifting, film hunting? That's interesting. I know. I think Gareth got his pretty much all on VHS. I don't think he has his on DVD. Though Andy Sedaris did put out a collection. They have put out Andy Sedaris collection several times. I have the Andy Sedaris collection. I have all the movies that he did. I just have to find it. I actually have that, and I also have like the first. Also, because I got this at Kmart when Kmart was closing. Kmart was starting to close their stores, and they were starting to do the clearance sales. I went over there and I got the Anasidiris collection for $5 on DVD, and I also got the Puppet Master series, like the first nine, and then they added three Killjoys on it, and I got that for $5 as well. Should have went back for more for that actually. When I'm thinking about it, I want to say it was Mill Creek to put them out, both collections. Yeah, I don't think it was Full Moon that put out the Puppet Master collection. I think it was Mill Creek. Let's see. I think they were regular movies they showed on Cinemax. Stuff like Alien Erotica. Yeah, that's the stuff like Amazon Erotica, the anthology series, science fiction theory series. Yeah, I don't remember that one, but that sounds like something that they would put out like a half-hour show. You know, a lot of for a lot of playmates, like starlets. That's where they cut their teeth at as far as him trying to get into mainstream Hollywood. They did shows such as like that. So it wasn't hardcore at all, but that's where they got stuff where they did roles like that because it was hard for them back then. It was well, I think it's more accepted today. I think, as far as that goes, I think it's more accepted today. But back then, I mean, for young stars trying to get their first role in the Hollywood, that a lot of them had to do those type of shows, the anthology shows or the Skinamax shows. That's where they were getting their roles at. But you found them on Amazon. Man, I wonder what the price. I bet you the prices have probably. I bet today they're about 3 or 4 times as higher today than they were when you first bought it, Michael. I mean, if you paid $10 then, I bet they charge them 40 today because they're not making those anymore. That interesting. Speaking of dollar theater, so I haven't done this in a long, long time. But I've gotten so many movies. This year has been it's been crazy. If you guys have been following my library hauls, it's been crazy. I found a lot of movies, and this year, a lot of really good movies too. And so for a while there, I was doing, I was doing a series called Dollar Theater Voters Edition. Um, while I was doing that, I was actually doing the Voters Edition, and I would list four movies and maybe the Cheetah's Choice. So this is back when YouTube would let you have five. You can put up a poll of five. Now they do it for four. But I would sit there and say, which movies should me and what movie should I watch and review this week? So I would put out like four movies that I got from Dollar Tree, and then I would put out the Cheetah's Choice. And because let's face it, the cheetah knows movies. He knows really great movies. Professor Macabro, speaking of my budget baller professor, my mentor, my budget baller mentor. Um, yeah, Professor. Hey, I got a question for you. So I'm watching and reviewing Nightfire. Um, are you familiar with the Skinamax movies? The erotic thrillers they used to show in the 90s. Now, if anybody knows anything about these movies, it'll be the professor. No, actually, I couldn't tell you who probably knows more, the professor or Gareth, but I'm sure the professor remembers the Skinamax, the time. Do you remember that where they used to have all the actresses come out there, some of the B movie actresses, and they would do all these, romantic thrillers or erotic thrillers. The professor is the one that told me that I got a show. Let's see, I used to watch them a lot back in the day. Haven't been able to track down any on DVD though. Holy shit! That's what I'm talking about. See, I got one, professor. I found one. Wow, and that's the one I'm reviewing right now. I've only found one. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know if they ever made that many of them on DVD. Now I mean, I know Gareth has those on VHS, but I this is the first time I've ever run across one on DVD. Some company. Hold on, let me get this movie. What's going on, brother Max? So, so this is the only one that I have found so far, Professor. Um, brother Max, do you have any erotic thrillers in your collection? I don't think very many people do. So this came out on Platinum, 1994. Hi, Sue. Yes, that's right, Professor. Shannon, Shannon Tweed. Okay, yes, he's. See, I thought the Professor. Honest to God, I actually thought you would have a lot of these, Professor. I thought you would have run across these on the big sales you go out to. Also, the Criterion Collection closet ain't got nothing on the Cheetah Collection closet. Damn Skippy, damn Skippy. Our closet is insanely fun. I'll be the first to admit that. When it comes down to it, it's insanely fun. Uh, but what I've decided to do was because I've gotten so many movies this year, man, this year's been crazy for us in the terms of that. Um, that I started doing. I was like I said, I was doing a poll type of series where I put out four movies and a Cheetah's Choice, and and the Cheetah always got picked. No matter what four movies I would pick up there, I say I'm gonna get, I'm gonna put out all the heavy hitters plus Cheetah's Choice. 90% of the times, the Cheetah's Choice always got picked because everyone wanted to see what Paladin was gonna watch. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I wish I had a few of those. Believe me, I look for them with a vengeance, laser focus, but I haven't come across none. Same with old Hallmark movies. Now I've gotten a lot more success with those. The Hallmark movies before the Hallmark Channel became a thing. Shows like Marco Polo. I got tons of old Hallmark movies before the Hallmark movie came what they are now. So I got a ton of those. Those are out there. You have to look hard for them, but they are out there. But the Cinemax movies, wow, yeah. I am, but but I got this story yesterday, which is so funny. So our good friend Mighty Mary Wilson, ISC Midnighter. So she's been on. I mean, you talk about the Cheetah Closet. The Cheetah Closet ain't had nothing on the Mary Closet this year. Mary has actually just been crushing it, absolutely crushing it in terms of finding some really good deals. Um, and she got some more. She got more in, and one of the things she was showing me, and one of the things that she posted was she got a copy of the Night Stalker TV show, the series, because it only ran 1 year, and she found a copy of that, and I'm going, holy crap! I mean, that's hard to find. I don't know anybody has run across that. Um, and so let's see. My lighting's acting up. I okay. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I. Uh, wow. I don't know. Oh, private message you there. Do you have a Facebook, Professor? Uh, wow. It's a light going black. Can you see it? I'm looking at it. I can't. I'm looking at it. It seems okay. Huh, maybe I'm too close. Oh, uh, yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? Mike, Mike, right above you. He says that he's got some stuff. He actually scored a few things. Um, I you know Isn't it something that all the types of movies that is hard to find? You think that I was gonna finish my Kolchak story. So Mary's got a copy. She found a copy of Kolchak, the Night Stalker, and I'm thinking, wow, that's so cool because it's so rare and out of print. It turns out that she actually bought a copy of that. I'm not even. I'm not even sure. I didn't ask, but I'm thinking to myself that they probably charged a pretty penny for that. But isn't it always like this that once you look for a movie or TV show and you find it once after all this time you're looking for it, it'll come to you like the next week. I think the only other thing I had, Professor, like that was that the firing line. Oh my gosh. Dude, they have a lot of the male actors did that. Like I saw that on Tubi. I saw that Mark Singer did a couple of those Skinamax movies. I forgot who the actress was with that he did it, but he was in a couple of those movies. I do remember Andrew Stevens used to do those movies too. I mean, the B-list actors were doing those films as well, the erotic thrillers. Because I guess it gives them more legit. They were more legitimate. Like, oh, you know who these guys are? They're stars. But they were doing Skinamax movies, erotic thrillers. So yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Red Brown, like this one here had This one here, Professor, had Martin Hewitt from Endless Love. You remember that movie, Endless Love, and yeah, the firing line. I'll keep my eye out for that. Oh, okay. That's not a Skinamax movie. It's a Red Brown War movie. Just happens to star. Yeah, like I said before too. Like Shannon Tweed. I felt like she was actually underused. She was typecast, I guess, because she was actually pretty good in comedies. She was actually pretty funny. She did a few comedies, a few regular TV shows that were. She was actually you could actually see her fun side. It wasn't just all about her body. And she was actually pretty funny. Man, God, I wonder if that's even a category anymore. Okay. So, I'm coming back. I started to do a new after the poll thing sort of went belly up. I was trying to think of what I could do to do some damage to the closet. So I came up with an idea of doing Dollar Theater, the Voters Edition, where I post up four movies and you guys would vote to see which one we watch. And so we did. We but I got stalled out on it on 50, number 50. I just ran out of juice. Not I didn't run out of movies, but I ran out of juice. But and seeing how many movies I've gotten recently, I thought, well, you know what? Maybe it'd be a good time to come back and revisit that. So we're revisiting Theater, the Voters Edition. The new poll is up. The new poll is up. We put up four films that you guys can vote on to see which ones you want me and the cheater to watch. We put so I'll tell you what we got up on our. I'll tell you what we got. Uh, I think it's a pretty good first poll. Pretty good way to come back. Um, so let's see. So here's what I said. I said so we are overloaded with films and decided to bring back Dollar Theater Voters Edition. We list four films and you guys vote to see what Paladin and I will watch that week. So and so that's what we did. We put out four films. We put out The Toy with Richard Pryor, Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe, uh, Faults with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and then we put one called Trading Paint with John Travolta. So there's four films. Two I would say are interesting. Two other ones I don't know anything about. I just did it because of the stars in the movie. Faults, I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. I just love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And then Trading Paint with John Travolta. I don't know anything about that, but I put it out there. But I do know about The Toy. That was with Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason. And of course, Some Like It Hot, an instant classic with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. So that's what you guys get to vote on. Man, you know what? I'll be put. I got some good movies coming up, Professor. Um, I mean, I did that last. I did the international tour for Dollar Theater. Was absolutely the fun, one of the funnest things I've done. Um, and pretty soon, I'll be doing a 4 week run on Resident Evil. I'm going to be talking about the first four of Resident Evil movies. Um, and then I'm doing four Lifetime movies. Lifetime movies are sort of like Skinamax without the skin. Um, I actually put some. I did survive Leprechaun's game, but I returned the favor, Professor. Eric did not walk away without scars on his ass after he gave me that movie. I made sure to make him pay. Oh God. Um, but yes, movies like that will end up making the poll. Uh, but I got some good ones coming up. I got some good movies coming up. We got Black Demon coming up. We got Return of the Killer Shrews that are coming up here. Uh, Voted for that Travolta movie. Um, yes, that. What do you know? What how I'm going to do this, Professor? Is it's going to be like this. It's going to be like I'm gonna take a page from Jason's playbook, Horrific Nightmares JM. I'm gonna go back to taking up from his playbook, and that is whoever wins that week will get reviewed, and the second highest movie that doesn't win, but the highest movie that does that, but second place gets to stay. The other two movies will vanish. I'll replace them with two new ones, and we'll start it all over again. Actually, three new ones, and we'll start it up again. So the second place will stay. Hey, it's Tremaine. That's all right. Tremaine, hey ho, everybody walking into the room. He'll be our very special guest next Monday on 8 Questions With. We'll be talking with Tremaine about his brand new film and his brand new film festival out in Folsom, California. And we'll be talking about Cat Town 2. How's that progressing? Another movie I've been hunting for years. It's the Asylum movie Bound with Charisma Carpenter. Okay, did you see my review for Planet Dune? I reviewed an Asylum movie called Planet Dune. That movie was not that bad. It was a lot better than I expected it to be, and it was fun. It was you heard me. I liked it. Then Cat Town 3D. Damn, is that what Cat Town 2 is going to be in 3D? I'm so there. As long as there's more, as long as there's a lot of orange cats in it, Tremaine, I'm so there. If you put up a fundraiser and you sit there and say, I'm gonna, this is gonna be Cat Town, this is gonna be Cat Town 2, the orange cat one, I'm there. I did, and I do own it. Very good Asylum movie, on par with Jurassic Games from Cork. Yeah, Jurassic Games was great. And I'm doing an Uncorked movie this week. But man, you got great timing. I am doing an Uncorked movie this week too, Professor, called The Lighthouse. Don't know anything about it. Jurassic Games was great. That movie was great. But I blew it with that movie. I blew it with that movie. I saw that movie and I reviewed that movie. And I would see that movie on Dollar Tree and I sit there and say, yeah, I've done that movie. I've done that movie. And I didn't buy it because I already had done it. I'm like, I thought I had owned a physical copy of Jurassic Game. I totally had a brain fart and realized that I didn't have a physical copy of it until it was too late. Then I realized that, you know what? I don't have a copy of this movie. I thought I did, but I don't. And so by the time I realized that, they're all gone. So now it's on my watch list, on my hunting list. I think I bought that. I got it because I thought it was the other Lighthouse, the one with William Dafoe. I think, you know what? I think the only difference is that the A24 film is the Lighthouse, whereas the one from Uncorked is the Lighthouse. They just how they formed it, and and it's the same. It looks like to be the same premise. Two men isolated in a lighthouse going insane. I think it's just the same thing. But uh, it's on the list. I'm not sure if it's any good or not. I have no expectations. Um, it's just perfect dollar. It's perfect dollar theater review. Uh, let's see if John's still here. He says not sure if you know Scott Hand, but he's trying to promote his movie Lycon. Work hard for me. Yeah, you know what? Send him my way, John. Send him my way. I'll be happy to talk to him about it. You know that. I got you. Yeah, I'll ping you. I'll ping you a little later, Tremaine. I'll ping you a little bit later for sure. No, I'll ping you. I'll ping you. Are you doing your show tonight? Are you doing your podcast tonight? If you're doing your podcast, I'll drop by. Uh, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yes, thank you, John. And Professor Uncork gets some hate, but when they cook, they really make some really good movies. Okay, on Tuesday. Okay, okay. Well, I'll be seeing you before Tuesday. I'll be seeing you on Monday. But that'd be a good time to talk about your podcast. And of course, Cat Town. What can I say? I love that movie. That movie's so awesome. Um, yeah, you know what, Professor? I don't have any, I don't have, I sort of I sort of look at them at the same level as, same level as Asylum. You know, they put out some decent movies. And then the movie that I'm doing afterwards, we did a watch party for, but now I'm doing a review for it, and that's going to be The Hole. I'm doing that as well from Joe Dante and starring our girl Haley Bennett. We did a watch party on that, but I decided I want to rewatch it and talk about it a little bit, review it. So I got that coming up. I also have a concert film featuring Slayer. That's going to be coming up on Dollar Theater. Can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that to watch that. Slayer is like, I'm too old for that now, but man, back in the day, getting into a Slayer pit was like almost like a bucket list thing for me to be able to get out there and get. I never got the chance to do it, but boy, if there's one band that I ever wanted to get into a mosh pit with, that would have been a Slayer pit. Those guys are absolutely insane. But they played a show at the Warfield. The Warfield's not that big, for when you think about it, it's like it hold about 3,000 people, and so oof, it was an intimate play. It was an intimate room for a band like Slayer. Yeah. And of course, speaking of Professor, he also helped me on this too. I got that first season of The Girls Next Door, and you're the one that told me that it was a little bit sassy. So I didn't know anything about that when I got it from the library because I got it for like 25 cents. All I know is like I'm looking at the three girls and we're like, I know I've seen them before somewhere, but I never watched the show, so I had no idea. And once I showed that I had picked up the first season of The Girls Next Door, the professor says, "Yeah, that's gonna be sassy." So I was like, "Thank you, Professor. Thanks for the heads up." Now I knew one show that I got was like that was called Son of the Beach, but see, I knew that show came out on Fox. I knew that. But I also know too that sometimes a show will air here in America, They'll show one version here in America, and they'll show a different version in Europe. So I knew that when it said, special features, that scenes too hot for here for network TV. So I knew they included the European version or the Canadian version, so to speak, where they're allowed to do nudity. I think after like 10 o'clock. Uh, I'm a bad influence on Pat, making him collect naughty movies and TV shows. I had no idea what I got there. I didn't even know what until the professor comes up there and says, "Do you know what you got?" And I'm like, "No." Is this? He thought that was so funny. But I do know about I do like the Hitcher came out, like we talked a little bit about the Hitcher. That when I came out, what came out, I didn't know what that was about. Um, but it was weird because, like I said, they only featured sassiness in the first 3 episodes. After that, they got rid of it. There was no more nudity on the Hitcher after that. It became pretty much a straight anthology show, a half-hour anthology show, and it featured a lot of well-known personalities on there. Now, the Red Shoes Diary, on the other hand, with David Duchovny, I'm not sure anything about that at all, other than I do know that it was it was steamy, but I didn't know if it was like Skinamax steamy you know or not, because I did have David Duchovny on there. But yeah, right, you're right, Professor, about the. I got to put that on the list too. I know a lot of people, besides yourself, have asked me to do that, and honestly, and that is put Bound on the list. Let's see, like on Game of Thrones, season 1 and 2 was raunchy. Then I guess HBO was like, wow, wow, tone it down. We got advertisers now. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that the girl who played Daenerys, she was sitting there saying how it was really she was like, she seemed like she was naked, like on every episode. She was like, yeah. Oh, thank you, John. I'll contact him for sure. I have yet to watch. I've only watched one episode of Game of Thrones. I watched the first episode, but yeah, I heard it was that but again, it's not exploitative. It's story driven. I mean, for the most part, I'm not sure if that's. I'm sure that's probably toned down too from House of the Dragons. I'm sure there's not that much of that going on either. But I do remember reading about Emilia Clarke saying how she felt like she was naked like 80% of the time that she was filming her scenes on uh on Game of Thrones. I don't really have that many, Professor, too, about the type of movies that I don't really have that many. I mean, it's so rare. I mean, I got that movie Bound. But like I said, a lot of people besides yourself um, asked me to review that. I'll have to put it on the list for sure. Because I put Planet Dune on the list after Hobbs sent it to me for Christmas. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for the Hobbs. So I put it on there, and then I watched it slowly work its way down to a slot so I could watch it. And then when I did watch it, I was really surprised because that's only my second Asylum film that I reviewed for the channel. Now I have posted actually three. I did Mercenaries, I did Hornet, and then I did Planet Dune. So I've done three Asylum reviews, on my channel. That's it. I have I have a Sharknado and I have a Bound. I have Bound. I think that's the last two Asylum movies that I have that I physically own. I think I own like five. They're just not. They're not there at the bookstore either. Believe it or not. And you would think that Sharknadoes. You would think I would see those every damn week, but I haven't. I have not seen them at all, which is sort of surprising to me, quite honestly. I've seen more copies of Jaws than I have Sharknado, even though Jaws is way older. And a lot of people did buy Sharknado. A lot of people went out there and bought it. That's one of the main reasons why we got so many of them. Not only did it do well for Sci-Fi Channel, but when they released the physical media, a lot of people were buying it. Oh, I gotta share this with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys right here. Let's see. The professor mentions collecting the asylum sure has been a journey. Started off low budget but with heart. Then a string of mockbusters. Then Sharknado and its copy paste formula. Then back to trying to be good again. Yeah, you know what? That's you know what I watched Headless Horseman. Our good friend Jose, Master of Chaos. I watched that off of Tubi, and I reviewed it. That movie was that movie was pretty decent. I was actually really. I mean, it was sort of silly. I mean, Headless Horseman, and he's got an orange head. He's got an orange pumpkin head on it. Yes, yes. There's some things that are just goofy on this, but I actually did sort of like it. I liked it all right. It was okay for me. So I did review that. Um, and speaking of fun movies, so I am doing my third Mark Polonia week this month. I already reviewed all five movies. They'll be dropping uh, on the third week of July. They'll be dropping at midnight. You won't be seeing me. I'm dropping them on midnight. Um, but I reviewed five movies for Polonia Week, including the very first movie I ever watched of his. The very first time I ever watched a Mark Polonia movie was Zombies versus Bigfoot. I knew nothing about anything when I got that movie. I got it at our local video store, Family Video. I got it for $1. I bought it because of the cover, because the cover is so badass. So I got it for $1. I went home and I put it on. I turned it off in 10 minutes. I turned it off in 10 minutes. I ended up giving it to my friend Catfish, Romy. So I give it to Catfish. And then when he left me his movies after he passed away, shout out to Catfish. I was going through his binders because he didn't have room for for the cases. He kept the movie. He kept Bigfoot versus Zombie. And so I said, well, you know what? That's what I'm watching. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it for my Mark Polonia week. So I did. I watched it, and I made it through. I made it through. Now, of course, I say this because at the time I didn't know anything about Mark Polonia. Now that I do, I come back to it, and lo and behold, I can appreciate it now for what it is. I can appreciate the movie for what it is, and the budget and everything else. I can. But back then, I didn't know him from Adam. No, there's a name that I don't think is part of my collection. I might have to double check, but I don't think I own any Polonia movies. I have a couple. Um, I mean, as far as physically own, I do have a couple. A couple were from John Oak Dalton. A couple because that's he used to do a lot of Mark's screenwriting before he let off on his own. Oh, come on now. It can't be not all his movies are bad. I mean, I'm telling you, Eric, if you watched Once Upon a Time in Amityville, you would respect that movie. You would respect it. Yeah, I think so too, Professor. But watch Once Upon a Time in Amityville, and then come back to me and tell me what you think. But the movies that I am covering, I'm covering for Mark Polonia week. Let me let's see. See if I can find it. Okay. Okay, so I'm watching Bigfoot versus Zombie. That's day one of Mark Polonia week. Um, Day two is Frozen Sasquatch. Day three is Teddy Scare, which actually has a really good acting performance by Tim Hatch. So that I have to recommend that one. Number four, and I did this for Eric. I chose this one for Eric. I did Noah Shark because you know how much he loves shark movies. And then Mark did something a little different. He tried to make a war movie, and he made a movie called War Raiders. And so I covered that. So I covered 5 films for Polonia Week. Now, I don't know how people are going to react to it. Do I think it's as good as last year's pick? Honestly, I don't. I think last year I did better. I think this year is it's not the strongest week. See, Eric's like, all his movies that I've seen, they're bad. He just doesn't care. That's what I'm saying. Like, I tell you the other movie I would have to talk about too, that would surprise you was Four Nights in Fear Forest. That was actually a lot of fun. I really liked that movie. That movie was way better than I thought it was going to be. That movie was a lot of fun. But uh, um, I did Amityville Exorcism, which was pretty decent. That was actually pretty decent. Then I did one of Mark's first films back in 1994 called Saurians. That was bad, but he's cutting his teeth. Then I did Once Upon in Amityville, and that's the best thing I've seen from Mark Colonia. And then I did House Watch, which was really really bad. And then I did Mummy Shark, which was really really bad. Mummy Shark was trash. I don't think you'll hate it, Eric. I really don't. I think you'll be surprised by it. I really do. I'm not just hyping that up, just for reaction. I actually really enjoyed that movie, and I actually felt like uh, because of the name Amityville was in it, that it was going to be overlooked by everybody. But if you're a Western fan, like I am, if you're into Westerns, I would tell anybody to watch that movie. That movie was halfway. It was really fun. It's really cool. And I love the ending. Ending is badass. And Amity Exorcism, that was better than I expected it to be too. I was not expecting that to be as good as it was, and it was decent. It was really good. So last year, I felt like I had a stronger Apollonia week last year than this year. This year, I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm shocked that the professor does not have any Mark Polonian movies in there. I am shocked. I for sure I for sure thought that there'd be a few Polonian movies. Okay, it looks like we're getting some clouds coming our way. Nothing heavy, but clouds. Let's see. I heard the words Polonia and good, and my brain instantly short circuits. Shit. All right. You know what? You guys know okay. What? This ruins us. Eric. You know that. See, we can't even come up there and say anything because people just look at us and going like, "Wait a minute, aren't you the two guys that did Sharks versus Schlock?" And we go, "Yeah." And I think people just shut the door on us when they hear that. They're like, "What are we?" They either think of us as a genius, like, "Wow, you guys did Sharks versus Schlock? Oh, I worship," or they just look at us like, "Oh, the hell." Um, but I am going to try to do a Shark Week if I have enough fun shark movies to do in August. Like I think you just want to pull an amazing bulk situation where you want no, I wouldn't do that. No, no, like I said, last year I got two movies that were good, three movies that were trash. This year we got one good acting performance. And then we got the war movie. It's not really bad, but it's just so severely under budgeted. I mean, even for a Mark Polonia movie, this movie had no budget at all. This sort of like reminds me of a Brett Kelly movie, when he made Ouija Shark for $212. That's what War Raiders reminded me of. It was like, look, I got $500 in my hand. Let's go make a war movie. If he would have, gotten a little bit more money into it, it could have been all right. Um, let's see. Mind you, I actively search and watch bad movies, but even I have my breaking point. Well, yeah, you know what? I see, I don't go, I don't, when I do dollar theater, um, I don't I don't do like, I don't want that. I don't want that reputation as being really horrible movies all the time. So that's the reason why all the, for I do dollar theater movies, for the most part, I mean, you look at the list that we do. I mean, we do a lot of fun movies. Now, I have to admit that Volume 2 has really struggled in terms of view counts. I don't know why. Maybe because people see dollar theater and they instantly think that the movies are all bad, which would be so, talk about narrow-minded. Um, but if you go back and you look at the shows, the movies that we've done so far. I mean, Volume 2 has been a little bit of a struggle, but we've reviewed some really good films on there. Holy shit, I'm proud. I'm proud of the Volume 2 of Dollar Theater. I'm proud as hell. I think it's a lot of fun. Thanks, Professor. I think I have a really interesting taste in films. I really do. I really feel like I do. It's not the safe. It's not the safest. It's not, like I just there's just certain things that I love. I love doing the eight films to die for series. I love those. I look for them all the time. I like to review them. Um, I like monster movies. I like Godzilla movies. I like Gamera movies. I'll review that. Um, and then I did my international tour. When I went to 8 different countries and reviewed eight different horror films from those countries. That was a lot of fun. I had so much fun doing that. Um, of course, you guys know I love classic movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Got a couple of those in there too. I found a 2 film public domain movie, two couple of movies. Meet John Doe, which is very, very good, and My Man Godfrey was excellent as well. Um, I've done. We did Christmas Blood. Our good friend Gizmo. You guys know Gizmo. Hangs around with Corey. I reviewed his second movie, A Christmas Blood. I was honest about it. Uh, what else have we done so far? Done some martial arts. We did Fearless, which was a very good movie, martial art movie. We got some fun animation films. We did Monsters University. We did Vixen. We did A Bug's Life. I mean, did documentaries. I mean, a dollar theater is all over the place. It's never just one genre ever. It's whatever strikes my fancy. But of course, it's all underneath $1.25. I did my first silent film that was inspired to us to do from Al Lucard. So we did Waxworks from 1924. Now we knew going in that nobody's going to watch this review, nobody, and pretty much is right. Nobody watches it, but I don't care because I wanted to do it and I did it. I mean, we got a lot of cool movies coming up. We got a Disney movie coming up. I'm doing Weapons. I did the Final Countdown. And of course, now we're doing Nightfire. It's also there. And so we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Hey, Doc. Yeah, that's that. I really enjoy those too. And what's really weird, Professor, is like recently, like I mean, this is really different. Hail Gigan, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Um, uh, it seems like my I don't know, someone must have shared it out with somebody or something because I don't know how else it happened. But lately, my review for Seahawk with Errol Flynn, all of a sudden people are starting to find that, and I've gotten comments off the review, and I put that out years ago. That was with Errol Flynn, and I had so much fun with that movie. That's why I put the Marilyn Monroe out, with the toy. I wanted to see what would happen, with that. But that'd be interesting. That's an interesting battle to me, because it would be my first Marilyn Monroe film that I've ever reviewed. I've never reviewed a Marilyn Monroe film, so I was thinking, okay, well, of course, I've never reviewed a Richard Pryor film either. But I put them up, and I want to sit there and say, let's see what happens. Let's see who can really earn their stripes. And so, yeah. And then for the other 2 films on the list to get some votes, that's cool as hell. I didn't expect them to get anything. Then I saw you voted for Trading Paint. I had no idea what that movie's about. I just know it's John Travolta, and I don't know anything about Faults except that it had Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Leland Orser. And I like both those actors. Yeah, classics are great. I still got to do my Thin Man. I'm I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about making that a special dollar theater run where no, nope, nope, did not review Superman 3. Uh I I actually did not I didn't review see what did I do for Superman 4? I know I bought it and I think I think I did a watch party for it. Let me see. Or maybe I did. Let's see if I did do that. Oh, I did Clash of the Titans. That's what we did for Superman 4. We did Clash of the Titans, The Room versus Superman 4. Yeah, that's what we did. Oh Lord. We did a Clash of the Titans. Oh my gosh. That's right. We did that. So I think Superman 4 ended up winning. Yeah. I did get Superman 3 from I did get it from the library. I found it from the library. I got Superman 3 and 4 from the library, but I reviewed Superman 1 and 2. I reviewed that on my blog, including the Donner cut. Um, I did actually I reviewed that for Warner Brothers. I reviewed the Superman movies for Warner Brothers on my blog. Um, but I didn't own Superman 3 or 4. I hadn't seen them. And so when someone donated them in, yeah, I had to grab them. But I did cover Superman 4 and the Clash of Titans, but I've never reviewed it. That could happen, Professor. But for right now, I'm gonna find Bound. I'm gonna put that on my on my ad list for my watch list for Dollar Theater. I might even put that for Dollar Theater Voters Edition. I think that'll probably be more interesting. See if I can find my other Asylum movies. I think I got, like I said, I have a Sharknado, and I think I have one of those two-headed, four-headed shark movies too. I think I have one of those. I think those are the only three movies I have left of Asylum movies. So I have six. Those I just I don't get them very often. And believe me, if I ran across them, I would, because they're just, there are a lot of people really like, they don't like the movies, but they like what people say about them. But I'm not going to crush it. I'm not going to crush it. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting till I get on till I own some of these movies too. Like I did not review. Like I didn't review the Back Rooms. I didn't review that. I didn't review Old Boy or Good Boy. I didn't review that because I don't own it, and I really do want to own it. Um, I might change my mind about that. Um, because I might pick that to watch for my pick for the ISC. I really love that movie a lot. I thought A Good Boy was just that's top 10 for me for ISC film. Damn, that was a good movie. That dog is amazing. That dog is a freaking amazing. Let's see. Now, of course, Professor, you probably know that it's I guess it's Vinegar Syndrome, or I guess whatever, or I think it's Vinegar Syndrome summer sale. Of course, me and the professor, we're budget ballas. Uh, we don't ever do anything like that. I mean, that's amazing watching the live streams of everybody going goo goo gaga over recycled shit and for overpriced. Um, you know, it just cracks me up. It really does. It cracks me up. Yeah, it just it's like wow. I just sit there at the library and just be patient, and find these movies for 25 cents like we do. It's what we do, or going to a yard sale, or swap meet and finding them for dirt cheap. Let's see. I'm still hunting for a copy of Good Boy. Haven't seen it, and it's not free or streaming in Mexico. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll probably, I'll probably end up breaking down and buying that movie. I think I'll have to go. I think I'll have to go get it. Not that I mind. Honestly, I don't mind it. I don't mind paying for it. I think it's like $10 because it's ISC. They don't spend a lot on it, but that's a really good movie. Right now, I'm binge watching though. Right now, I'm binge watching Adam 12 and Perot. Um, yeah, I've been watching a lot of Perot's. See, if you wait enough, eventually you'll find boutique releases cheap on DVD and Blu-ray with all the people upgrading to 4K. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that, Professor. Honestly, I'm seeing that. Now, next Monday, I believe I did cover the final countdown. That I found that copy of the Blue Underground copy at the library. I found that there. But the boutique labels that I don't even know. I don't even count A24 as a boutique label anymore. That's just a regular studio for me. But once in a great while, I'll run across an art exploitation movie, even though they're no longer around. But I'll stumble across one of those. Uh, Kino Lorber is probably the one I run across to the most now. I've gotten a ton of Kino Lorber at the library. I dare say probably Kino Lorber 1 and then Criterion 2, A24 3. I barely find any IFC films. I've been waiting for Good Boy and Dangerous Journey or Dangerous Animals for months. I just got Hatching. I just got it, and the only reason I got it was luck. Um, is because if someone tagged it as a foreign film. They tagged it as a foreign film and put it in the foreign film section. So when they called their film section, it was there. It got mislabeled. So I was able to find Hatching, but that's been about it. I Yes. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this story, Professor. I told it before, but because you're here and here, I'll tell you again. I'll say this one again. So I was in one of the Facebook groups, physical media groups, right? And a young guy, he put up and believe me, straight budget baller right here. So he puts up 12 or 14 criterions. He puts up this little stack of criterions he got. He got them all for $1.50 a piece. Ballin'. Um, and then we're all just sitting there going like, hell yeah, that's a great haul. I mean, fantastic. And then this one guy pops up. There's this because he found him at a thrift store. And this one other guy, he posted in the comments. He says, "Yeah, the only movies the only criterions I ever find while I'm thrift shopping are all the Wes Anderson movies." He says that's the only thing I ever find when I go to my thrift stores. And you know what? He's absolutely right. I said the same thing and went like, that he's right. Because every time I ever have gone, there's two movies I've always seen. I've always seen the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and it's the Royal Tenenbaums. Those are the only criterion I've ever seen in a thrift store. It's just those two. Everything else, up to that point. I mean, now I get them at the library, but yeah, so rare to find a criterion donated from the wild. It's so rare. I'm actually looking for one that I have seen. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. Of course, now that I need to see it, I can't find it. Is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I want to find one with a better copy of the disc than mine. Mine plays, but it's scratched up a little bit. It wasn't until that guy put that in writing that I actually like. I'm like, he's absolutely right. Yeah, it's amazing how it's just amazing how certain movies that you expect to see, um, like I'll tell you a movie that I was seeing every week at the library coming in. Even now, I'm not seeing it nearly as much. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw it. I'm not sure if I've seen it this year or not. But how about the Twilight movies? Don't see them anymore. Used to see those every single week, every week, every single week. Someone would donate Twilight. Don't see them anymore. Don't see them. It's 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 interesting. There are two DVD covers for Life Aquatic threw me off. I ended up buying it twice because he changed the cover. Well, hopefully you got that at a swap meet for a bottle of price. I actually saw the Royal Tenenbaums at Camera 3 in San Jose. I actually saw that there. My favorite Criterion finds are Seven Samurai 3 disc set and the 2 disc set of Pan Labyrinth from Criterion. I think the one that got me, well, I'm not sure, honestly. That's a good question. I'll have to do a top 10 on that, on top 10 of my favorite Criterions. I know getting Marriage Story. I got Marriage Story on Blu-ray for $5 at Family Video. I was really that blew my mind. That blew my mind when I saw it there. When I saw it there, I was like, "Oh my God, they got a Criterion in here." But that's how they released it. They released Marriage Story on Criterion, and I had to wait a month. And then a month afterwards, no one rented on it. And then my friend says, "If you want to pick it up, you can." So I bought a Blu-ray for $5. It was still selling at the it was still selling at the store for 40. I think the ones I think what I got my favorite Criterion, and I have to say I didn't get I got this on a sale. A friend of mine had God, that's not how I should say it. A very close friend of the family's. Her name's Deb, and she sent me a Barnes and Noble gift card, and I was able to get the Baby Cart series on a sale. I think I paid like a couple dollars for it, but I had a gift card, and I bought the Baby Cart series, and then I bought Lady Snowblood. What else did I get during the sale? I also got the Criterion version of Scanners, but I didn't pay any money for them. They were all gift cards from people who gave me gift cards from Barnes and Noble. So ballin'. But yes, I do have I don't have the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I don't have that, but I sure as hell do have the Royal Tenenbaums. Yes, yes, Professor. Yes, the Criterion set has both films. Yeah, that was one of those ones that I saw on sale on the Criterion sale. They, I was saying how earlier every single Criterion sale they always have the same 8 or 9 films that they always the cheapest of the cheap. It's always the same one. They never rotate them around. But I mean, I was sitting there with $25. I'm like, what do I get? Then when I saw the Baby Cart series, I said, yeah, I have to get the Baby Cart series. But I got some other good ones too. I got some really good Criterions from the bookstore. A lot of them are movies that no one's ever heard of. Hell, even I didn't hear about them. Some of them are some of them I got were cross between Criterion and also IFC films. IFC films got a Criterion release, which is very, very cool. But I think I have like 43 or 44 Criterions now. I haven't got one in a long time, to tell you the truth. It's been a while since I've gotten any of them. Um, actually, it's been a little bit. I think it's been a little while since I even got an A24. I think the last A24 film I got was Zola and Queer, the last two that I got, which was hilarious. Which was hilarious because I went inside. I went to the. Uh, yeah, you know what? I got eight. I done really well for the 8 film to die for. I've done pretty well for that. I used to see a lot more Dragon Dynasty and Tartan Asian Extreme when I first started going to the library. I don't see them there now. Don't see them there at all. But I still do see 8 films to die for. That I run across those 3 or 4 times a year. So that's actually pretty good. And I've already reviewed a lot of those films. And anyone, I got another one coming down the pike too. Perkins 14. That's coming down soon. Yeah, I enjoy those. I enjoy watching those. I have other ones too that I did for my blog, but I need to bring them back up and do it on video. I had the many deaths of Ian Stone. I had Crazy 88s, Crazy Eights. I mean Crazy Eights. Uh, yeah, I got a few more of those. And the one movie I have not done video for, but I need to do that is because I used to talk about it all the time, but I've never reviewed it. Yeah, yeah, those are hard to find too. Even when I used to go to even when I used to go to disc replay, those things were hard as hell to find. Um, I understand why I have commented many times before how my Salvation Army, I was just hate going to my local Salvation Army because I thought they weren't putting out horror films. Well, I found out that there's this guy that literally lives there on Tuesdays. And whenever they push out new movies out there, he's sitting there at the door. They're getting these movies in, but he's monopolizing it. I mean, he really is monopolizing it. I've heard a couple of resellers talking about it, saying how, they see him there and he'll see him park at the back door. I'm going like, well, do you go up there and stand next to him? And they go, one's a woman, so she says no. But the other guy says, yeah, I would like to, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the time like he does. He can sit there and wait for all day. I mean, I'm only there for like a half hour. And I just thought that really sucked. I mean, if I saw him stand, I mean, if I decided to dedicate an afternoon, which I don't guess I don't have the energy to do that, but if you're a collector and you're going Salvation Army and you saw somebody sitting there blocking basically all the movies from coming out to the shelves, I'd be a little irritated at that. But yeah, I guess they have been getting horror movies and whatnot. But the guy just basically, as soon as they wheel him into on the floor, he's sitting at the back door and he just picks them off. And the staff knows him so well that they let him do it. I I can understand that, but I think it sort of sucks. Yeah, that's pretty bad actually. I saw that once at that library, Salvation Army, Two Professor. I saw the very same thing that you just mentioned. Um, there was three guys, four guys actually, and they rolled out the cart. They left it there, and everybody went over there to get look inside the cart. And one guy tried to grab the cart and pull it away, and the other guys are going like, "Well, wait a minute, where are you going?" And he goes, "Well, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna looking here. I'm looking." This was, well, yeah. Well, so are we. We could do it all together. And he says, "Well, I just need to look a little bit first." And and then you hear these guys start laughing. They're going like, "Yeah, that may be so, but not today." And then they pulled the cart back, they yanked it out of his hand, and they said, "We're all going to either look together or we're not going to look at all. You can either look with us or not at all." And so he behaved himself. But yeah, he actually walked up there, was going to try to pull the cart away from people looking. That was that was pretty amazing. It's like, wow, that takes some balls. But I've never run into any problems. The only problem I ever had at the library was one lady cut in line. Um, she cut in line and it was like wow, and she did it in front of me. And so I was like, wow, really? And so when they opened the door, um, yeah, man, she got stepped on. I stepped right on her back foot. That hurt too. I know it hurt. Yeah, I was like, wow. Yeah, we police ourselves at the library. Nobody ever gets out of hand. I mean, one lady used to go there and she was interesting. Um, she could be loud and she could be loud and mean. Uh, you know what? That's a good question, Tom. Honestly, God, I don't know what's going on with that. Um, he has like 7,000 followers on his YouTube page. I don't know why. I don't get it. His live streams are really good. I mean, it could be because his co-host who he has on doesn't promote the show. That's also probably part of it right there. He doesn't tell anybody about the show. I don't think Tremaine has the time to sit out there and promote the show all the time. But you're right. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, he's 7,000 people, and nobody shows up. That's a YouTube thing. They do that to him. It's not him. It's YouTube. Same thing with me. Same thing. People don't show up to my live streams either. I had two people yesterday when I'm talking to Neil Chase. Yeah, but I'm not going to go to X. I'm not doing X. Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why, Tom. I won't go there. Nope, not interested. I'd rather talk in front of nobody than go to a right wing platform. That's just all there is to it. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, part of it is the algorithm that YouTube does now. Like YouTube wants to, like if we talk about certain subjects, film wise, we'll get to traffic. Like if I suddenly start talking about Obsession or Scream 7 or Scream 8 or the major franchises, the latest and greatest, if I did that all the time, that's all I ever talked about, yes, I would have a lot more viewers. Anybody would. I mean, you see a lot of the horror channels. If they talk about Scream or Halloween or Texas Chainsaw or Friday the 13th, that's all they ever talk about. They'll get the crowds in for that. But it all depends how you feel about that. When I go Halloween hunting, I've come across some violent female resellers. If you grab something they see they like, even if I grabbed it first, it's in my hands and they try to snatch. Yeah, I've never had anybody do that. I've never had anybody do that. No one's ever tried to grab something out of my hand. Thank God. I've never seen that. Our resellers are classy. One lady, she was a little spirited. Um, for the most part, the resellers and I myself, we have unspoken truce, not truce, I guess, but it's like I'm always first in line. I always get there early, right? But when the door opens up, the resellers go to the book section and I go to the movie section. Me and the other cinephile that he and I will go to the movie section, and then the resellers go down to the book section. And for me and the other cinephile, what we'll do is we'll get there fast. I'll go in first. I look for what I see, and then if I see something I think he'll like, I'll bring it to his attention. He does the same for me, and then we switch. Like he'll get where I'm at, I get where he's at, and then we'll just switch. And I'm in and out in 15, 20 minutes. Not the places I frequent. It's basically Mad Max territory, a battle between collectors, scalpers, and the normies. Yeah, I'm really fortunate. I'm really fortunate for that. Uh, I only have one other collector, and he's a really nice guy. He's very nice, and he is not combative. In fact, he's the one that showed me the Adam 12 that I got last week. I was looking at my territory, and he said, "Hey, check this out." And then he because they are doing the calling the TV section last week, and I was looking at 24, and then he says, "Hey, check this out. This is something you'd like," and it was the Adam 12, and I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll take them all." And so he gave me all the Adam 12s, and then I gave him a couple of movies too, a couple of classics he was looking for. So it's unspoken respect. Now I know what he likes. He knows what I'm looking for, and it's only the two of us. So it's not like there's I keep on waiting for that to change, Professor. I keep on waiting to suddenly start finding. It was like that with Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, it used to just be me at 8 o'clock in the morning whenever they put out their movies. I used to show up there Friday morning at 8 o'clock, and it used to just be me. But toward the end, collectors started showing up. They would start showing up around, a lot of time, a couple of times at 8 o'clock. But they were starting to, and especially for my friend Jerome. I mean, he used to go to his Dollar Trees, and they used to be picked over by 10 o'clock in the morning. And I was just glad that they were like, 15 miles away from me. But I think it's only going to get worse, to tell you the truth. I do. I think it's. I mean, as if they stop making physical media, if they stop it, I just see more and more people. Because it's going to go. It's going to go. It's going to go from. It's going to go from being a collector's market, you know, collectors to a reseller market. People are just gonna. I mean, I see guys on TikTok that do both. One of my friends at the library, he does both. He collects films, but he also collects to sell. He also sells as well. So I expect to see those happening more and more as well. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons why the boutique labels are thriving as well, because you can buy your product, you can buy your films at a boutique label, and the only thing about to me anyway about boutique labels is the fact that it could take months for you to get your order in. Let's see. I love VHS and DVDs. The world has changed. It's awful, and a war not in charge too. Yeah, yeah, it might not matter, huh, Tom? I mean, we could end up getting blown up here. I mean, I read all the defense journals, and yeah, people will be actually shocked to see the amount of pure weaponry being shipped around now. That's absolutely insane. I mean, we're rearming at a record pace. I mean, both sides up to the eyebrows. I really do to try not to let it get to me, but I can't help get upset seeing a copy I wanted for years yanked by a scalper I know will hold it hostage and flip it for 20 times the retail price. And when he got it for 50 cents, yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, it really is. I mean, yeah, it's really it is frustrating. That's why I get first. I get there. I get first to the bookstore. Um, just for that, and not because of the regular resellers, but for anybody that's new that's going to start coming in. Because I keep on waiting for that to happen to me, Professor. I really do. I keep on waiting for that day where it's going to be like me and my buddy. We're going to go to the movie section, and there's going to be like three or four other people doing the same thing, and now we'll have to start competing for what we get. I just hate that. I mean, the only good thing I can say is I pretty much know what I'm looking for going in. So I live not that far from NATO. Yeah, yeah. Russia put a blistering on Kiev the other day. He got hit with over 900 drones and missiles. No, I totally understand, Tom. I totally get it. I mean, it really comes down to you try to. It's the one and only thing I've ever agreed with about Trump, and that is that NATO needed to pick up more of its freight. That's the only thing I've ever agreed upon with him is like, yes, you know, they need to start. They can't depend on us. And after we got our ass kicked the way we have been during the Iran war, would you really want to depend on us with our current leadership? I wouldn't. I couldn't count. I wouldn't want to depend on the United States for shit. So I would just try to do it myself. But Russia has bled. Ukraine has made Russia bleed. When I was younger, I used to get panic attacks about war until I realized that if it's going to happen, not a damn thing we can do to stop it. So I just fixate on something else. Yes, that's really all for me too, Professor. You know, we were talking about that with Neil yesterday. He made a sort of like a end of the world type of movie called Spin the Wheel, and that was the case. You know, it's like, what would you do if you knew that today was going to be the last day? I mean, you knew that, you know, like, okay, you know, what would you do? You know, how would you react? Me, I run out with both arms open. I would do that. I would run out with both arms open and saying, all right, we're ready to go. Take the cheetah with me. Yep, him and I would just sit back there and just watch it end, because we know we're going to a better place. So yeah, man, how's the World Cup, man? Interesting. Germany out. The Netherlands went out. Sorry about that, Tom. I can't believe the men have. I mean, come on. You saw the draws. 48 teams is weak. It's oversaturation. Get the top 32 in there. I don't know. Did Belgium get a team in there as well? I know Belgium. I think the last time, I don't even know. All I know is that I don't think Italy made it. Did they? Italy didn't make the World Cup, and I don't think Ireland made it either. The Italians did. Let's see. Best critic. Thanks. I like your review. B movie westerns traded with good Michael Pierre, and 2026 a good comeback with Tramps Like Us and Michael Pierre. I buy Bowfinger. I have to look for that. Yeah, Traded wasn't too bad. Michael Pierre has done a lot of fun movies. A lot of fun movies. He's definitely one of my favorites. And Bowfinger is a lot of fun too. Yeah, I get more pessimistic when I go inside on a Tuesday and there are no IFC movies there. That's what really bums me out. Going there and it's like, oh man, you know, it's like, oh, come on. What are you gonna throw Good Boy on there? Come on. Now on the 12th of this month, the 12th of the Sunday night on July 12th, we're all going to be heading on over to Cadaver Club's channel. I have to see if he's made it so far, but we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite IFC movies that we each reviewed on the show, and we're also picking out one turkey. There's only 2 movies for sure that I'm picking. There's 3. I don't know. You know what's harder than picking a top 10 list? You know what's harder than picking a top 10 list? It's picking a top 5. That's hard. 10? You got some breathing room, but we get to do just 5. Oh Lord, I don't know what to pick. I don't know. I mean, there's so many damn good ones. I have no idea. I truly only know 2 that I'm picking for sure. And then I say that and I'm going like, no, there's 3. Hey Mike, how are you? Watched the new Z Talk. Way to kick off the new format too, my man. Of course, it only was proper that you opened up the new show with Ryan. Anybody else just wouldn't have felt right. So watching you guys chew up the fat was a lot of fun, and talking about the going to the theater experience. Let's see. Russell's here. What's up, everybody? Let's smash that like button. Yeah, smash that like button. And also go down to Jen's reviews from the grave. I put her down on the bottom there. So if you guys want to go over there and give her a sub, that would be awesome as well. Yeah, Texas does. I was going to stop by and watch his latest one, but I had a show. He did. Jeff Buckley, I think. Um, he and I were both. He and I were both around when Jeff Buckley was around. He was a great talent. I am hanging in there. Cheetah is doing well. We don't know who or what bobbled, but we had to reschedule our appointment for next week. The cheetah was listed. I thought the cheetah was scheduled to go in at 3 o'clock today. They told me it was supposed to be yesterday, but I wrote it on my calendar that they said 3 o'clock. I had my calendar right there, and I said, when you told me this, I wrote it on my calendar Friday at 3 o'clock, and they're going like, oh. So we don't know where we don't know how it got crossed. So we're gonna go back and he'll be 15 in September. He'll be 15. Yeah, he's getting sort of picky in his old age. He wants to drink from the sink again. So he hadn't done that since I first got him, but he loves it now. Uh, uh, Thank you so much, Russell. Yeah, so Jen does some great. She does some great. And Mike too. If you're up there, Mike, hit that button, Mike. Subscribe to Jen's channel. She's a really nice lady, and she got her channel hacked, and so she had to start over. And she had well over 1,000 subs, well over 1,000, and so she lost them all. So she's rebuilding her channel, and she is one of my ISC midnighters. So that's right. Tell him, Mike. Man, I'm telling you, when I took him to the doctor, a couple of weeks ago, I'll be honest with you guys, man. I haven't felt that emotional since my wife. I was so on edge walking inside the office. I was just I was just like a trigger away from losing my shit. I was so because I'm nervous. I'm but I love our vet. The vet that we saw, she was very kind, and she's very much concerned with about him and not the money, um, which I really appreciate. Because his teeth do need to be cleaned, but we haven't figured out how we're going to do it yet. And but she was sitting there going like, I'm not confident in telling you that we should do it. I don't think it's not. I don't feel comfortable doing that because of his age, and he is a little underweight. And that's not because he's not eating. It's just summertime. Summertime, he always loses a little weight, but he's also 14, and cats start losing a little bit of muscle mass. Like he doesn't jump anymore. Not very high. He can still jump onto a stool to get to the bed and to his treats, but he's no longer jumping from he's not jumping from heights anymore like he used to. From France, I like the great actor, charismatic, so singular Christopher Lambert. Yes, Highlander. There should be only one. Uh, Zoners, American Zoners. I have not seen Gideon, but I have seen Highlander. I saw Tarzan, a Gray Stroke. I saw Fortress. So Christopher Lambert is a favorite. I got the cheetah. Okay, so I'll have to go back a little bit. So my family at one point in 2013, it was my wife's cat Ginger, my cat Derek Jeter, my wife Lori, and myself. So in late March of 2013, Ginger got sick with kidney failure. So Ginger passed away. Then my wife, who was battling terminal cancer, advanced cancer, she died in May. Derek Jeter, he died in July. He died of heart, congenital heart. So basically, in a matter of months, everybody was gone, except for me. So the house was really, really quiet, and it was getting to be too quiet, if you get my meaning. I mean, it was really pushing me close. So I decided, I said, I'll try to get another cat. So I went looking for cats, and man, adoption, there's a lot of, you hear people running rescues, right? People always talk about how they run an animal rescue, dog rescue, whatever. But man, some of those people are the worst. They're all about the attention that they get. They really don't give a rat's ass about the animal. So I went to an adoption agency, a rescue, and they had two brothers. About a couple of years, they were bonded. They were bonded. I mean, they live with each other. They do very well with each other. You don't separate a bonded pair. A good one will tell you they'll never do that. When I called up for them, the rescue person was going to charge me $250, which is a lot. It's a lot for a rescue cat. And I said, well, I want both of them. Can we do $125 a piece for both? And she says, no, because I could sell you one. I'll sell you one for $125. I said, what about the other one? They're bonded. You put that down there that they're bonded pair. I can't take one without taking the other. And the rescuer's like, well, my daughter happens to like the other one, so we're going to keep that one. And I said, so you're going to break up the pair there? Well, I'm not going to be responsible for that. So I didn't get anything from that one. I called another rescue, and you could just tell they just weren't. They were mean. But they did say that that Dixboro, Huron Valley and Dixboro, Michigan, they were having a Clear the Kennel event. And Clear the Kennel event was they were giving away all their cats for free up to 6 months. 6 months or older, and you could get a cat for free. So because there had been a hoarding event in Ann Arbor, which is where the University of Michigan's at, and they had busted a house with 88 cats. So they needed the space, and Huron Valley is a no-kill shelter. So they did empty the kennel. So I heard about it, and I drove down there. And I walked in, and they had regular cat cages to the right. And then they had a singular cage, one cage to the left. And that's where the cheetah was at, because he's a cheetah. And So I mean, I started looking at the regular cats, and then I came back and I went over and looked at him, and he had a sign up there. His name was Duncan. That's what they're calling. I almost kept that name. I almost kept that name, but I had already in my head. I said, if I get another male cat, I'm going to name him Paladin after Have Gun Will Travel. But I loved his name, Duncan. So I went over there and I looked at him, and said he's an escape artist, and he was very, very cute, very, very cute. And I'm like, okay, he's orange and white. I was thinking about tuxedos because I Derek Jeter was a tuxedo, and I started to walk back to the other cat area, and then this other couple walks up to go inside and see Duncan, and I spun on my heel. I went back and I grabbed the paperwork from them, from the because they have paperwork. Like if you want to adopt a cat, or in this case a cheetah, you grab the paperwork, then you go out there and fill it out, and they give you the animal. So I grabbed the paperwork. I said, I'm taking that cat. I picked them out. Most cats, um, they pick you. Um, but I picked him. And so I grabbed the paperwork, I jumped in line, and they were doing the paperwork as they started the paperwork as the couple came out. And they turned to look where the paperwork was, and it was gone already because I had it. So they were so happy. The people at the shelter, they were so happy because Duncan was a great favorite. This Duncan, he had his own cage. He had his own cage, hundreds of cats over here, and he had his own cage over here. And he was, the ladies loved him. And so, and if as we're getting him out of his carrier, his shelter, the lady who I was doing the intake with, she she says, do you mind if I make some calls to let some of the staff know that you're adopting him, because people really love him, and so they would want to have a chance to say goodbye. And so I said, by all means. So we stayed there for like another 20 minutes while the different staff members all came up there and said goodbye to Duncan. They were so happy to see him go, find a forever home. So that's how I got Paladin. Um, he came home. I let him out of his box. Uh, he he was growling at first. He got fluffed up and growled. Um, and then he took like 2 steps toward me. His ears flat, his fur, and I'm going like, dude, if you come at me, you and I are gonna have problems. And then he relaxed, and I just turned around and I walked away from him. I didn't talk to him. I didn't try to pet him or anything. It's like, let him decompress all he wants. And so about a couple hours later, watching football, and here he comes, and he jumped on the couch and he came over and laid down on my chest, and we've been close ever since. All right. See, my gremlins have been wanting to get another cat, but after losing Luke, the cat, I just can't deal with loving another kitty and losing another pet. I said goodbye to too many pets in my long life. Yeah, I understand that, Professor. I do. You have to be ready for it. I think it's a good sign though that your kids are though. I mean, you might want to reconsider, like, and just tell your kids that, we get another cat, it has to be an indoor only cat. Cannot be outdoor cat. So unless you're willing to do that, we can't do it. Tom says, I walk my neighbor's Chow Chow. He's lost 3 dogs and 2 cats. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a great soul, Mike. He really is. Let's see. Best critic, Jim Belushi. Great actor. estimated comeback in many movies in 2026. Let's see. I don't. I thought he was doing a TV show. We have two cats, both indoor. I couldn't bear the thought of them letting them out. No, no, I can't either. I mean, sometimes I'll sit on the porch and I'll put them in this carrier and we'll sit on the porch. But right now, it's just too fucking hot right now. It's too hot. Can't do it. And I thought about putting him in a harness to walk, but he just would be too much of a handful. He would want to go after everything. And that's one thing about, I see, that's what people, I try telling this to people because people just don't seem to understand this. But when I say that he is a cheetah, I mean that he's a cheetah. And, like one of the things that he never learned when he got old, when he was younger, was he never learned how to play. He plays, but he goes from playtime to like aggressive, like in a heartbeat, because he never learned that. And so, like, I have never given him my hands or my bare feet, not once, because I don't want to get, I don't want to get bit. So, that's what, if you notice me wearing socks all the time, that's the reason why I wear socks all the time, because when we play, he can nibble on my feet without hurting me. And then when we play with the blanket, I always put my hand underneath the blanket and he'll attack that, but he'll never attack my bare hands. I'll never let him do that. Yeah, because you never know. You might be doing something and he might think that you want to play, and next thing you know, you're cooking something, and then you're getting your hand attacked. Cats are awesome. They really are. So the Amazon sale was going on as well. I didn't know that. I thought they had Prime Days. I thought that was supposed to happen in November or October. Let's see. Dennis Quaid. I guess you're letting us to know what your favorite actors. The Big Easy, Great Balls of Fire, Savior, Pandorum, Enemy Mine, Reagan. Ugh, not Reagan. Ugh. Great actor. Underestimated by point of view. As a true actor. You know what, man? We were talking about him yesterday. Dennis Quaid. Um, I'm just glad he's back because he almost didn't come back. He had some severe problems. He had some really terrible personal demons he had to go battle. So I'm glad that he's back, but he's like the last person I want, to play Reagan. I think Reagan would not want him to play Reagan. But he has come back. He has recovered his career. I wish his brother would too, Randy. Yeah, well, you and I were talking about Dennis Quaid yesterday, Eric, right? So we were talking about that, about yeah, he almost destroyed his career many times over, but he has recovered, and he has done some good work. Um, some of his movies are better than others. I would not want to see him in Reagan. I already had a hard time watching him in The Hill. He was supposed to be playing a 35-year-old man in The Hill, a father, and he's like, almost 70. It was very painful to watch. It wasn't his fault, but it was still painful to watch. Yeah, Cocaine Dennis and Jaw. Dude, he did a lot worse than he did. Yeah, he had a lot of problems. I mean, there was a time where he disappeared. Remember? I mean, there was a time where you didn't see Dennis Quaid in Hollywood at all. He was gone, and that was because he was fighting for his life. Charles S. Dutton, fucking amazing actor. I don't. Let's see. That's a good question. Good question. Yep, he's still with us. He's 75 years old. And he retired in 2016. I, I remember watching Charles and Charles and Surviving the Game. Oh my God. Well, the first time he ever played a bad guy, I remember seeing him play a bad guy, and I was so shocked at that. I was like, "Oh my God, he's a bad guy," and he made a great bad guy, even though I knew him more as a good guy. He did Rocky. He did Rudy. That movie cracks me up. He did Rudy. Of course, he was also great in Legion, among other movies. Of course, the series Rock, um, which is a good comedy drama, sort of like a more up to date Good Times. Let's see, yep, that's right. Professor Legion. Yep, yeah, he really was, wasn't he? Legion's one of my favorite films. Legion, and he did Legion. Scott Stewart did Legion, and then he came back and did Priest with Paul Bethany. But both those movies are outstanding, outstanding movies. Yeah, I have not seen that either, Professor. I have not seen a single season of Rock. And this is something too that I've noticed too. Man, when it comes down to TV series, there's not that many out there. I I've only seen one series since I've been at the library. And it was Girlfriends. And someone donated the entire series of Girlfriends to the library. And I was gonna pick up the whole damn thing. But whoever had it, they just treated it terrible. They were in such bad shape. I passed on them all. They were all just, it looked like someone had tried to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on every one of the discs. I mean, it was bad. I left it. I left it behind, which I rarely do. But I said, nope, I'm not going to try to salvage that. But have they released Rock on DVD? I believe that Rock has been released. I want to say so, but it would explain why I haven't seen it then. Let's see. Let's see. Rock premiered in 1991. God, only ran for 3 years. Wow, I thought it lasted longer than that. It only lasted for 3 years. Let's see. But of course, it was on Fox too. So what do you expect? Wow. Let me go back to Google and see if it got released because it didn't say here. Let's see. No, Professor. No official wide release DVD box set of the '90s sitcom Rock has been mass produced for retail. Um, you could, yeah, they or VOD, video on demand. So, uh, yeah, no, it didn't get released. It didn't get an official release. Wow. I only watched the Streets of San Francisco. I got the first three seasons of that, Tom. I will do an episode for you, buddy. Let's see. See, unless it's the X Files, Married with Children, or The Simpsons, a lot of those old Fox TV shows seem to have gotten ignored on DVD. Well, I'm glad to say that at least Firefly and Briscoe County, they got mass released. So there were a ton of them out. I I still see those out. I haven't seen a Briscoe County, but I have seen Firefly pop up on the shelves a few times at the library since I've been going. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's why I really never really got into any Fox show. Because it was just or an and or sci-fi channel show because they will pull the plug so fast. I didn't want to get invested. I didn't want to invest any time in it. Though I am going to be doing a retro tube here from a movie called Bedlam, from a series called Bedlam that ran for 2 years and 12 episodes. But I'm going to be covering it. I don't know why, but I just want to. But yeah, I want to do a Streets of San Francisco, Tom. Yeah, for a while there, CBS was releasing. They were releasing, not complete series, but they're completing like like box sets over at over at oh gosh, already gone from me, right? Odd Lots, and also from Ollie's and Walmart, and they would sell seasons. Like I'll show you. So these are the first three seasons. So I was a little surprised at that because I thought the Streets of San Francisco ran for 6 years, but it only ran for five. And Michael Douglas left after the fourth season, and then they brought in Hatch to come in, Richard Hatch to come in and finish out the series run. Let's see. Yeah, man, I'd love to get that Living Single, man. I heard that single, that Living Single, that was stacked. That was a fun show. I keep looking for that too, Professor. Like when I saw Girlfriends, I would have picked that up. I would have bought the whole damn series if it had actually been. You know, it's like one of those rare times at the library. It was one of the rare times that they did not look at what they were getting. They just got it and they put it straight to the shelf. Because I like to think that if they would have looked at that, they would have cleaned it up. But it was so dirty. Um, yeah, but I don't see any African American TV shows come through. I don't see them ever coming through. No Miami Vice, no no that was a diversity show, uh, tremendous show. Of course, we all love Miami Vice. Um, I don't see any Cosby Show at all. I really thought there'd be a ton of Cosby Show. People just like don't get rid of it. I think they did get rid of it, but I think they probably threw it away, which is terrible. Um, because the Cosby Show, I don't care how you feel about the man himself, but that Cosby Show is brilliant. It is a brilliant show and so well done. Um, man, I would definitely buy the entire series run for that. That show was fire. Um, what else is there out there? I have Sleepy Hollow. That featured an African American co-lead. No. How about NYPD Undercover? Don't see that. That was a Fox show, but don't see that. Fresh Prince. I haven't seen a Fresh Prince one yet either. I think Fresh Prince got released by Mill Creek, so I would think that one would be easier to find than, but I haven't found that at all. I haven't seen Martin. Yes, I did, Russell, and I own that series. I own Sleepy Hollow, but they killed the lead off. The actress that was in the lead, they killed her character off. They killed her and they killed Orlando Jones, who was like the big the police contact, the captain or whatever. But they killed him off too. But I do own Sleepy Hollow, the show. Yes. I don't have any Family Matters. I don't have any Martin. Um, I have one or two of the Jamie Foxx show, which was actually really funny. That was actually a pretty funny show. Um, and come on, watching Garcelle, oh, the lead actress in that show. Oh Lord have mercy. That girl was stunning. Stunning. Yes, she was the cop. And then Orlando Jones played her supervisor. And they killed both characters off. Yeah. It's like that's the reason why half of us turned into the watch the show is because of what was her name? Natalie something. Well, Natalie. Uh see, was it yes. Uh yes, the Battlestar Galactica series with Edward James Olmos was very good, extraordinarily good, just amazing score, great cast. I own that series as well, Tom. Bernie Mac show was really good too. Sadly, it ended when Bernie passed away. Steve Harvey Show. How about that? Steve Harvey Show was a lot of fun. With him and Cedric the Entertainer. And then there was Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Um, that was I think the Steve Harvey Show. They had one of their cast members get killed. I remember that. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he was killed off after, yeah. But no, and all the years that I've been going to the library since 2019, um, I've only seen one complete African American season, and that was the Girlfriends one. Anyone remember that short-lived Eddie Murphy claymation cartoon? I don't know. That I think that's probably from the same people who did the California Raisins. I think that was the big hook. Was that? Well, let me ask you guys something here since I got you. I got a captive audience here. So let me ask you a question. So I'm doing my 50th retro tube. I'm doing my 50th one. So I want to ask you, should I do a comedy? Should I do a drama? Or and how old, should I do something from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s? Let me know in the chat. What should I cover in RetroTube TV? Should I do a classic comedy? Should I do a half hour review? I got something like a Mary Tyler Moore, something like a Love Boat, something like that. I got Charlie's Angels. I got Kung Fu. Um, I got what else I got? I was supposed to be doing a Young Riders, but I haven't been able to do one of those with Al yet. But I still do a Young Riders. Have Gun Will Travel. I'd love to do another episode with Paladin. Probably have to grab Mr. Dan for that. You know what? I take it back. You know what? There is a series that I did pick up from the library. I got 2 seasons worth of it, and I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet. Hey Marty, how are you? When I do review, well, I was thinking about doing for July 4th. I have to see if I can dig my copy up. I have both those films. I would have to dig it. Let me see if I can dig it up for July 4th. I definitely can look up for that. And of course, let me let you know too that look on the bottom there. I pinned that down there below. Just to let Marty see that. See, we got your girl. We got your girl pinned, Marty. So got her a couple of subs. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out what I should do for the 50th episode. I was thinking maybe doing it like a Mary Tyler Moore, something like that. Definitely like to do a comedy. I've been doing a lot of dramas. I'm gonna get back to some of the comedies too a little bit. But I'm hooked on. I'm also hooked on British mysteries right now. I am fucking hooked on British mysteries. I'm watching. I have watched all my. I have watched so much of my British mystery catalog, but I love them. They're so good. Professor, you know what I remember about, the only thing I really remember about Independence Day, honest to God, the one thing that I took out of that was Will Smith was a badass. Um, and that was the first time that we all saw Vivica Fox. And all I can remember for my theater afterwards were all the people asking, who was that woman? Because we never seen her before. and everybody wanted to know about who she was. Like, who is she? That's what I remember most about Independence Day. That that and Jeff Goldblum saying must go faster, like he did in Jurassic Park. That brought a big laugh too. Hey Jerry, how are you, sir? When he goes must go faster from Jurassic Park, that makes me laugh. No, I have not watched Independence Day 2. I know that I heard that it was not as good as the first one. I have that one, but I have not watched it. Doing well, doing well. We're just chatting up here. We'll take this party up to 5 p.m. and then I got to think about getting some dinner for me and the cat. Um, it's clouding up a little bit over here, so I'm not sure if we're gonna get rain or not, but I definitely want to go get a little bit of dinner before if he decides to do so or not. Um, I'm not sure what we're watching today. Oh, we're watching The Lighthouse today. That's what we're watching. We're watching The Lighthouse. I'm finishing up my review of Nightfire with Shannon Tweed, and then I'll be watching The Lighthouse, and then I'll be watching The Hole. Only two? That was it? Oh, I didn't know that. What two? What two? Wow, I thought there was more than that that came back. Mm, God, I've been out. Yeah, I'm watching the uncorked one, Professor. Yeah, I think it has the same premise, Professor. I think it has, like I said, I think it's just two guys, and they both slowly go mad. Oh, okay. Brent Spiner and Jeff Goldblum. That was it. I thought Spiner's character got killed. Oh, that's that's all they could get to come. Yeah, well, you know what? They pretty much killed everybody else off, didn't they? Man, they didn't even bring back Adam Baldwin. That sucks. Are you guys happy they're bringing back Firefly as an animated series? Can I be honest with you? I'm not. Animated Firefly doesn't do anything for me. Does not do anything for me. I wanted to see a live action. I wanted to see live action. I don't care if they just even made a movie for Netflix. I'd rather see that than animated. I'm not. Yeah. I just find that there's two movies out there. Yeah. I know the cover. The cover looks this. It sounds just like reading a synopsis of that. It sounds just like the A24 copy. Now my sisters both saw The Lighthouse, the A24 copy. So my big sister liked it, my older sister liked it, and my younger sister hated it and walked out. Yeah, they're all voiced, and all the original characters are except for Ron Glass. They're all coming back. Let's see. I love the scenario scenes in Collateral. Uh, I tell you what I think. You know what I liked about Collateral? I tell you what I like, though it never got ever got exploited enough. but that movie Collateral was set in the world of the Transporter. Um, Tom Cruise and Jason Statham cross paths, and they're in the same world. That's Frank Martin and Tom Cruise's character. Man, I wish Jason Statham would go back to that character. The beekeeper, the gardener, the trash guy, um, the chauffeur. Just go back to the Transporter. I'd rather see a live action miniseries of Firefly. Me too. That's what it was cool to see Nathan Fillion walk up to all the other actors and say, "Are we doing this? Oh, we're doing this." And I was excited for that. We're all excited for that. But then all of a sudden, then we hear that it's just going to be an animated, and it's just like you can feel the energy in the room just drop off. It was like, oh, okay, I guess. I'm not really excited for it. I I'm not jazzed up for it. I was like that too when they did animated Godzilla. It's like, okay, I'm not, it's um, that's why I bought it. It looks just like it. Seeing synopsis on the back, found it super cheap, so I didn't bother to look at the cast on the small print, which would have clued me in that it wasn't the same. How much did you? Well, how much did you pay for it, Professor? Didn't you pay a buck for it? A buck 25? That should have told you right there, Bala. Same thing with Ash versus Evil Dead. It's coming back for a fourth season animated. Yeah, I'm just. Well, I sort of can understand that though, Russell, because Bruce Campbell is currently undergoing treatment for cancer. Um, so I mean, him expecting him to, if we're expecting to see a live action Ash, I don't think we're going to get it with Bruce Campbell. I think he's over 70 now as well. We're not gonna see it. And he's sick. So I can handle that animation, because it's just a way for him to go out on a high note. A buck. See, I would have been right there. Uh, I thought someone mispriced the A24 flick. Too good to be true. I should have realized. Still looks like a good adaptation, though. I will let you know. I'm going to be watching that movie tonight, The Lighthouse tonight, to prep up for Dollar Theater. Um, I am too anxious to see how it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully so. Hopefully it's not going to drag. I would recommend if you want to watch a lighthouse type movie, I recommend that you watch Cold Skin with star Ray Winston. And that movie is balls out. That movie was great. Xavier Gens behind it. Fantastic film. The professor says I might pop it out and give it. Yeah, Professor. Hell yeah. Man, there's a lot of good classic series channels popping up recently. There's some really good Mike's movies. And Mike's movie addict is one of them. Our good friend Trampus. He does westerns, classic westerns from the 50s. Of course, you guys already know Mr. Dan and Horde does a lot of westerns and martial arts. Um, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool seeing westerns, especially the ones from the 50s and 60s being reviewed. Nobody knows about them at all, so that's really cool. Let's see. Don't get it mixed up with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Oh yeah, the premonition, right? I think that was a Lighthouse movie as well. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think this Lighthouse is gonna be. I don't know. It could actually be better, Professor. It could be better than the A24 one. That's Robert Eggers did that. The guy who Eggers, he did that. He's the guy who did The Witch, and now it's doing the werewolf movie, which I'm actually keeping an open mind on. I want to see what he does with it. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what I'm more curious to see what he does with werewolves than I was with him with vampires. That Nosferatu was like, I just felt like I've seen it over and over and over. But I'm curious to see what he does with the werewolf story. Yeah, I agree with that. And I am reviewing that movie, by the way, too, in case you guys might have not noticed on my channel, but I will be reviewing the original Wolfman. That's coming up on my channel. That's right. Had to go back to the Universal Monsters. Um, we've done Dracula, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, and now we're doing the Wolfman, and I got others too. I got the Mummy, and I got more Abbott and Costellos. The Witch is really good. I like The Witch. Uh, Black Phillip steals that movie. That movie is awesome. With when Black Phillip's in it, it's awesome. It might take you out of the movie though because Black Phillip is so cute. He's so much fun. But if you get a copy of that, I recommend that you get the copy of that movie for the commentary. The commentary is really good on The Witch. I really like listening to that. It's one of my favorites. Uh, they're talking about how the young actor is a young actor, like he was like 12 or 13 maybe, and he got his very first kiss um, on screen. Yes, his very first kiss happened for a scene in the movie. I know, Professor. I've given up. My last gasp of hope was with Christy uh uh from Nightmare Toys. My last gasp. I'm like, if anybody can deliver a Black Phillip, it's gonna be Christy. But it didn't happen, and I didn't get a Black Phillip. Um, yeah, the actress who played that in the Witch, Anna Taylor Joy. Um, man, sort of rough looking lately, but not as bad as Anna Faris. Did you guys check out Anna Faris when Scary Movie 6 came out? Oh Lord, that girl's not healthy. She's not healthy at all. Oh my God, you were just holding your breath for her when they were doing the press on the red carpet. Man, you could tell she was just not there. It's and she did some talk shows, and yeah, it was really sad. She is definitely not there. That's some serious addiction problems. I don't know what it is, but it was scary to watch. Sad. I'm not sure how she was in the movie or not, but based on what we saw afterwards, and scary. And Anna Taylor Joy is the same thing. I saw her in the last few movies I've seen her in. She is so fucking skinny. I mean, really skinny. Just it makes you scared for these people. But one movie of hers I would recommend tremendously was The Menu. Oh my gosh, The Menu is so good. So good. Ray Fiennes, Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, uh, John Leguizamo. That movie is a corker. The Menu is really, really good. Yeah, Anna Faris looked she's looked horrible. She was like some people were, I mean, as soon as they saw her, like some people instantly jumped on it. They're going like Xanax. They're sitting there thinking she's taking too much Xanax. I mean, I had no idea, obviously, but I guess people in the know were sitting there saying she was over medicated. All I know, she just looked terrible. Let's see. The professor says, "Holy moly, Amazon does have a Black Phillip Funko. I can't tell if it's real or a custom." You should be able to tell by the price, Professor, because it'll probably be like $500 fucking dollars. The higher the price is, I can't even bother looking there because they just get me depressed. Go there and look at it and like, they want like $500 for the Black Phillip, and it's just like, Funko, why don't you just fucking do what Ty did with the Diana bear? They made the big old hoopla about they're only going to make 5,000 Diana bears around the world. Cost this massive, massive influx of people buying Beanie Babies, and then after everybody spent thousands of dollars getting these Beanie Babies, these Diana Beanie Babies, someone sitting there going like, "This is my retirement. I got eight Dianas," and then he says, "Oh, we're just going to mass produce it." And then they flooded the market, and all those people who spent all that money, sort of like with physical media, ass out because he could. Let me see. Okay, let me go to TikTok. Hmm. Crazy cat. Gross Fest is coming up the end of the month. Let's see. Walmart is the place to look for Funkos. Yeah, but Black Phillip has been out. It's been out for a long time. Cheapest one I could see is the eBay listing for $100. That's insane. It is insane, Professor. That's actually higher than it used to be. It used to be like $80. Now it's up to 100. You can't tell me the Funko Pop does not hear people say, could you please print out more? Could you please print out more Black Phillips? People being the hey, Yeah, I heard about it too. I heard about it. Um, and then when I went to get one, that's when I found they're all gone. They were gone really fast. Because I had never heard of a Funko Pop till well after the Witch had already come and gone. I didn't know what a Funko was. You know what's a? And then I thought I saw these. Then I saw it and I'm going like, okay, well, it's just a damn Beanie Baby. Is what it is. It's just another Beanie Baby. That happened before. Same thing. Oh, but it's not a Beanie Baby. It's a Funko Pop, dude. It's it's a damn Beanie Baby. I got a couple. I mean, I got one giant one of the Thing. I got Batman and Robin. I got Sam for Trick or Treat. Um, what else do I got? I got a couple other ones up there. I got a Bruce Lee figure. Let's see. I didn't want to get into Funko, but then I saw some Elvira pops and they got me. I heard they're doing the Godzilla ones, and I wanted to see if they could get. I wanted to know if they were doing a Gigan, and I don't think they ever did a Gigan. I think maybe they did do a Gigan, but I'll send it to Ben from Cadaver Club. I'll send it. Hey, check this out. Hmm. Well, I was going to stay to 5, but you know what? I better start wrapping this up. We are getting some clouds over here, and so we might actually be getting some thunderstorms later on. Might be getting some thunderstorms later on, so I got to run some errands before that happens. But I will be back here on Monday 8 o'clock for 8 questions with. We'll be talking with Tremaine Hayho on Tuesday. Derek Barash will be here with us, and then on Wednesday, next Wednesday, we'll have screenwriter Tracy Beebe, who wrote the screenplay for a mortuary's assistant. The mortuary's assistant. She'll be here. I hope you guys come Wednesday. That would be really, really cool. I like you guys to come all the time, but I really would like to see you guys show up on Wednesday for that for our interview with Tracy Beebe. Um, because I've you guys many of you maybe have heard me say this. I've always felt like anthology films are the hardest films to make. I've changed my mind on that. I really have changed my mind. I think the hardest films to make are definitely video game movies. I think it's just impossible to do. You can never make a good one. Someone's out there is. I mean, it is a good movie. I mean, to us, but there's always going to be some little basement head down there who's going to cry and bitch and complain about it. We saw that with Borderlands. We saw it with Jungle Cruise. We've seen it over and over. I mean, I've already heard early sprack from the new from Zach Gregors who's doing Resident Evil. Starting to hear chatter from people about that. I think it's impossible to do. The Mortuary's Assistant came out based on a video game and came out in a movie. People were harping on it, and I can't wait to talk to her about it. I can't, I'm going to try to watch it beforehand. Hopefully, it's out on streaming. And yeah, I've had no problems with any video game adaptations that I've watched, whether it be House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, any one of the Uwe Boll movies. I've had no problems with. I love Borderlands. I thought Borderlands was badass, and Kate Blanchett was she was cool as hell in that movie. Um, and also the best performance I've ever seen Kevin Hart give was in Borderlands. He was really good and stole the movie, in my opinion. We had Werewolves Within. It's another fine adaptation of a game that I think is great with werewolves, and absolutely love that. But again, you hear people bark all the time. Doom, another. I can understand Doom. Doom was exciting as hell, very exciting, and I liked that movie quite a bit. And The Rock was going to be a bad guy. I mean, how cool was that? Plus, it had Carl Urban in it and Rosamund Pike all day long with a cast like that. All right, man. So hopefully I will see you guys like I said, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And yeah, if you guys do if you guys have any suggestions as far as what I should do for RetroTube, drop it down in the comments down below. Say drama, thriller, comedy, something, whatever you think I should cover. Then we'll cover it. All right. Thanks so much, and be safe and be kind to each other. Peace. And watch out for the lighthouse.